With inspiration of Purushothaman, every day we will be having 3 sessions lasting 2 hours each, followed by a discussion session in the evening. The technical sessions will be led by the respected gurus, whoever has presented the paper, and after they do the presentation, you can ask your doubts there or in the evening session. As you all know, Sri Jagannath Center was started by Sanjay ji to propagate this sacred knowledge of Jyotish, which his family has a tradition in. He has been selflessly and freely distributing this knowledge to whoever is interested and whoever has an inclination for this without looking at his self-interest. We have been very, very lucky to have such a guru who has been so selfless in distributing and sharing his knowledge. Without taking much time, I will request Shri
Param Guru, Pandit Sanjay, my colleague, Sri Purushothaman, Mr. Sakar, the President of the SJC, and Sri Kedar. I deem this a great honor indeed to be in the midst of a distinguished gathering. I also take this opportunity to welcome all of you. I understand most of you have come from outside this country. It is indeed admirable that there are people outside this country that will believe in Vedic astrology, and they have such a commitment that they have come all the way to this country, especially to Hyderabad. Well, I really wonder whether I have a place to say we will do well as a subject. And thereafter, on 16 occasions, as I went up the ladder in service, muhurtam was fixed every time I was taking a job, and all by Sri B.V.N. Sarma. And he used to ask me, what exactly you want to have in this position? I had only 2 requests. One is, I should be successfully performing in the job. 2, I should exit honorably from the job at the end of my term. So please ensure that these 2 things are there. And thanks to the muhurtams he has fixed from time to time, I retired from service after 34 years of service, most honorably, with greatest job satisfaction. That's how I began. And really where I believe in the influence of these planets. Somehow, he asked me, do you have your horoscope? Now, by that time, I knew my horoscope. That's all. So I gave my horoscope. He looked at it and he said, you will construct a house this year. Those were the days when I was in a position to sanction loans, house loans, for the officers in the IAS and the Indian Police Service. So I never believed in house construction. I said, why fools construct houses, wise men live in it. So I never thought of wise men, fools construct houses, wise men live in that. You know what he said? You will not construct. The Guru will construct. The Jupiter will construct. Watch. And lo and behold, I don't know how it turned up, I constructed the house by the end of the year. So this is how the planets influence. Then this friend of mine, Mr. V.P.N. Sharma, there were 365 days in a year, they would go on strike on 426 occasions. That was the type of job I had. So, well, I went there with a muhurtam, so I should be strong. So I felt I was strong. But one day there was a strike. I was quite disturbed. And I rang up Mr. Sharma. I said, here is a strike. It's unexpected. And I am going to be very tough with this. And it's a question of my prestige. And they should not have gone on strike, but they have gone on strike. So I want to handle it tough. So advise me. He said, what time did this strike begin? I said, 2:30 in the afternoon. He said, by 2:30 tomorrow it will be called off. I said, what are you talking? This is a major union and they are not going to go off like that. For the first time they have embarked on this. So it will run at least 2 weeks. You tell me. He said, no. If he has commenced at 2:30, by tomorrow 2:30 it will go. Because of my faith in him, I said, let me keep my 2 fingers crossed. And I rang up the Union Secretary, Government of India. I said, my fellows have gone on strike. And he said, what are the issues? These are the issues and all that, and I'm going to be tough. I said, the idea is that if I am tough, I should look to the Government of India to support me. So he said, all right, go ahead. Then, my subordinates also said, sir, we should not yield to this type of pressure. This is idiotic. We must remain strong. We should not let these people come and compromise. I said, yes, go ahead. In my heart of hearts, I was sure this would be called off. But then I said, yes, we be tough. Go ahead, I said. Because that's the practical side of it. Then the next morning, promptly at 3 o'clock, my general manager telephones me. He said, sir, that they are prostrated and they surrendered. And so, let us take them back. So this is something unbelievable. A major organization going on a strike won't have left it like that. But it did happen. Then I became a student of Krishnamurti Paddhati in a small way. Then I said, this job was a very tough job, security economics. So I was doing almost 3 years. So I said, let me see whether I'll get out of this job, if it is now. So in April, I cast my horoscope. In the Krishnamurti Paddhati, I said, when will I get a shift out of this job? So I looked at it and it looked at July 19th to 24th, the possible time. And most probably 22nd, taking the moon moment into account, most probably. This prediction I wrote in my diary in April. Then later July came. So on 19th July is the date, I said beginning. So I said, let me see the Chief Secretary and tell him that I am due for a transfer. So please transfer me. So I went and met the Chief Secretary. Then I got me now for a transfer. So I went there. So I asked his personal staff, I said, what is the issue to discuss? So he went inside, asked the Chief Minister, Mr. Rao wants to know what the issue is. So the Chief Minister said, it looked like this, oh, I forgot. The Chief Minister was also a great actor, so he did that. And later on when I went, and then he said, Mr. Rao, I understand you are giving a lot of trouble to us. I said, no, what trouble, sir, I said. He said, you want to get away. And in July, we wrote. This we wrote in April. And on 22nd July, as the moon takes its position, it will change. So this is as follows. Then, last event I will tell you. In 1996, in fact I met Pandit Sanjay Rath after I left Defense Ministry. I was in Defense Ministry at that time. So after the Defense Ministry, I was promoted, but not in a fair manner. So I felt some injustice was done. I looked at my horoscope. The stars were fine, but my position was bad. I said, how do we explain this? So I joined the new post, not commensurate with what is expected of a person who was in the panel of the secretaries. So I met one general manager there, and he knew my interest in astrology. So one day when he was going to Kashmir, Jammu, he told me that he has a very good astrologer in Jammu if I am interested in giving my horoscope. I gave my date of birth, and this is an old man, Mr. Madhu, and he believed in Yogini system of astrology, which is quite different from our Parasara, Varga, whatever it is. So I get a job. So when I took it, I just bumped into this notebook. I opened it and I said, let me see what this man has written. And he wrote in that, after your retirement, the Guru period comes. That is the Jupiter. The Jupiter period is for 5 years. 2, 5 years tenure. 3, independent. 4, a higher status. I was astonished. Appointment was for 5 years. It's a statutory post, independent, and the status was higher than the status that is the Secretary of the Government of India. So this is the prediction of Sri Madhu from Jammu. He is no more. He died in 2001, February. This is how I have come to have faith in astrology, and many people, especially among the educated, and more so in the scientific community, they do not believe that astrology is a science. They think the astrology is a hoax, astrologers are a hoax, and it is superstition, and it is the gullible people who go to the astrologers. This is the general faith, and as you know, last year, I think so, the University Grants Commission decided to introduce Vedic astrology in all the universities. You can't believe the amount of opposition, the uproar the scientific community made, and they poo-pooed the whole idea. That what? Astrology in the universities? Absurd. This is how people gave it said. Well, I should say in this context, it's like an allopathic doctor saying, condemning the homeopathy. Only those who have read homeopathy and practiced homeopathy know what homeopathy is. So unless, like seeing is believing, unless you experience astrology, you can't have faith in astrology. Now, and there are, unfortunately, there are astrologers and astrologers. They are cheap by dozens these days. Everybody is an astrologer, including G.K.Goel is an astrologer. And his knowledge is not even elementary. But everybody. And people also want to run to these people. So often they are not qualified to be astrologers, but they do practice. And that's another thing that brings disrepute to astrology. But however, there are also a few people who really predict very well. If you look at the astrological magazine, we have an astrological magazine in this country. And I must say a word about Param Guru Pandit Sanjay Rath. As I said, when I was in Defence Ministry, I never met him. After I left Defence Ministry, some other colleague of mine in the ministry introduced Sri Sanjay Rath, and I was equally thrilled when I met him first. I gave him a horoscope of my son, and instantly he recognized the problem. And he said, this is what it is. I have nothing to worry, it happens only for a year and a half, and later on there will be no problem. And it will be a good, safe going. And it came true, really. And I found that Pandit Sanjay Rath, he not only follows the Parasara system of astrology, but also combines it with the Gemini system. That gives the accuracy to his predictions. And later, he resigned from service. And before that, prediction of Parasara, Jaimini, and other sages of yoga. And the vision. Psychology and spirituality. I emphasize on this word, spirituality, thereby paving the way for greater realization of potential, and this is the right course that Pandit Sanjay Rath has taken up. And most astrologers are not great astrologers, mainly for the simple reason that they are not spiritual. So it is the spirituality that lends support to the astrology, and I'm so happy. In fact, it was a pleasant surprise to me when Sri Chadha came to me and said, there are people from this Jagannath Center in Hyderabad. I never knew. I thought it was restricted only to Delhi, but there are branches not only within India but elsewhere in the world. Now, I have a better opportunity to be with the SJC, being in Hyderabad, and I am sure it will help me learn more about the astrology. And coming to the Sri Jagannath Center, this workshop, SJC Varga Workshop, is too high, and it is amazing that a workshop on a subject like this, people have been having this workshop for a period of 9 days, and that means we are going to really study them to a great depth in these 9 days. I wish this workshop all success. Thank you very much.
I'll now request Arvinda to please come and honor our guests. And Guruji. This book is being distributed to all the participants also. Those of you who have not received it, you can collect it in this print. We having a very eventful and learning experience under the patronage of Guru Sanjay Rath ji. Thank you, Ms. G.K.Goel for your time, Kaushal ji. And we request you, whenever you find time, please do not hesitate to join us in this workshop. Thank you very much. And now, Guru.
I've seen so many of them. Phyllis is from Canada. We have people from Denmark, Swedes from Zambia, and we have people from all over, especially Miranda is from Puerto Rico, right? Puerto Rico. I mean, it's unbelievable that we have people from all over the globe, right, getting together over here for this detailed workshop on divisional charts. First, I thank you, Sri Gopala Rao Sahab. He was my senior, much senior in the Defense Ministry. Of course, at that point of time, I never knew him. We happened to meet much later after that. And Kaushal Ramji, he was also in Delhi as the Secretary of Development. and he's also had some very nice experiences with Jyotish. I think he can agree to that. Yes, Sri Jagannath Center has come a long way from the time we started it in 1997. At that point, our intention was very, very clear. One, there should be no profit motive. Jyotish is a spiritual study, and money and spirituality cannot be combined. You cannot do that. You cannot make a business out of God. So that was very clear in my head. One. Second, in this world, it is not possible to do everything free because things cost money. So we had to keep things at a reasonable level, at a level in which it would not hurt our conscience. So since then until now, we have been progressing, and as you can see, the Sri Jagannath Center has been trudging along slowly. I have been attending conferences for many years now. Nothing concrete comes out of these conferences. People come, they spend time, they have a nice holiday, they go back. The very intention of the workshop or the conference is dissemination or sharing of knowledge. Such a sharing of knowledge really does not take place. What is happening is somebody is giving a paper and the paper goes to the dustbin or is lost in time. It was necessary also to have better focus in astrology. Astrology, as in the words of Shankaracharya, is the ocean of knowledge. Adi Shankara was prepared to debate on every topic with Vishwaji, but not on Jyotish, because Jyotish topic, a debate on Jyotish cannot end in one lifetime. So, to bring about a focus, a deeper understanding of the subject, and that can only happen if we have a topic and discuss threadbare every aspect of the topic. My answer was simple. I got much more material, and I had to screen it and choose the good ones. 9-day workshop. Otherwise, this could have probably continued for a month or two, and probably would have worked out because none of us can find that much time. So this is only the beginning. This is where we are setting a standard in quality. A standard where we actually have come out with this book. As you can all see, this is the first time in astrology, in Jyotish, that a workshop or a conference has been organized, and the papers that have been presented in Thailand, which have been this, are presented in the form of a book. These papers will be available to everybody. The study continues, the subject grows. And we can only grow if we organize our study. If we decide to go ahead in a manner which is, one, scientific, to the extent it is a life science, as I said, in the words of T.R. Prasad, who was our ex-cabinet secretary. He always said that Jyotish is a life science. We cannot remove life from Jyotish and say that it is just a science. And I fully agree with him on this. Yes, it is a life science. And we need to wait in-depth presentation of papers, which is like it is presented in, let's say, a physics conference made by some of the best of the Nobel laureates. Of course, nobody is going to give us a Nobel Prize for this. But it is that deep. It is in no manner lesser deep, lesser scientific, lesser rational, or lacks a smaller philosophy. The spirituality is an integral part of Jyotish. And we cannot remove the spirit and say that we are studying Jyotish. Jyotish is nothing but the light, the knowledge of light. And what is it? The light that is within us. That is the spirit. Spirituality cannot be divorced from Jyotish. So that is also an integral part. We talk of remedial measures, how to improve life, healing, gemstones, and so many such things. I will leave it here and thank each one of you for having come. Spend more time reading this book, and especially reading the portions that have to be presented the next day, so that in that way you can be prepared for the conference, prepared for the papers. You have your questions. I mean, it's better to read up now and have the questions during the sessions, so that the people who are presenting it, the gurus who are presenting it, can answer them. Otherwise you go back and then you will again have all those questions and all those things. We will continue with it. And thank you one and all. That is all I need to say at the beginning.
I will request Shri Purushothaman to come and recite a prayer for this occasion.
समुद्रम सुमुहम त्रिनेत्रम ओम भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ओम शांति शांति शांति। ओम पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेव